Our project is copper-based intrauterine devices, which are a form of contraceptive that elutes copper ions in order to create a spermicidal environment in the uterus.
Approximately 7.4 million women in the United States use IUDs as their primary method of contraception, with 6 to 13% of American women between the ages of 15 and 39 using IUDs. The United States IUD market is a little bit smaller than the rest of the world, specifically Europe, but it is still estimated to increase by about $800 million by the year 2023. IUDs can be a little expensive, between $500 to $1,300, but the Affordable Care Act requires that insurance companies must cover the cost of one FDA-approved copper IUD.
Despite the rising IUD market, currently only 40% of clinicians recommend IUDs as a form of contraception to their patients. There are three primary reasons for this. The first being that 67% of users report experiencing heavy bleeding and cramping in the first 3 to 6 months due to a burst release of cupric ions. Additionally, there is a 6-fold increase in the risk of infection upon implantation of IUDs, and there are expulsion rates of up to 17.3%.
Figure 1 represents our proposed device in utero. Our device has 4 major components designed to improve patient experience and clinical outcome. The copper wiring is the primary biofunctional component of our device, but the leached ions are an effective spermicide, but also trigger a sustained foreign body response. To decrease the response intensity, we therefore propose a galvanically corroding IUD. The copper will oxidize off of the frame in a thermodynamically and controllably favorable manner. We will also wrap the exposed copper in a thin film of PLGA. A 2015 study shows the success of the polymer as a biodegradable barrier to prevent this burst release. Our IUD has projected release rates between 40 and 80 micrograms a day for the entire duration of implantation. Our device frame is also composed of nitinol 55 and coated in silver nanoparticles. A 2016 study reports silver nanoparticles as effective antimicrobial agents. As I said, the base of our frame is entirely made of nitinol, and the alloy's tensile properties meet the required specifications to prevent mechanical failure in utero. The insertion and removal processes are key to the marketability of our proposed device. During implantation, the device's 2 side arms, or curves, will be folded down towards the vertical midline, and the entire device in its compact formation is inserted into the patient by pushing a plunger within a tube. The device returns to its heat-treated shape in utero, as nitinol's transition temperature is around that body temperature. Furthermore, the small transverse width of 25 millimeters should prevent the uterus from attempting to expel or move the device. Upon removal, the device's high-density polyethylene strings, which are designed to hang into the cervix, will be pulled with a pair of forceps. This time, the 2 side arms will fold up towards the vertical midline and the device will exit the patient.
The benefits of our proposed design are that its smooth pear shape will lead to a decrease in migration and perforation. The smaller copper surface area will lead to less cramping and bleeding, and its antimicrobial properties will create lower infection rates. Additionally, our proposed device would fall within the same financial cost of the Paragard model of less than $500. Additionally, for cost for our material, it will require a new implantation method. This will lead to clinicians being less experienced when implanting the device. The lifespan of the device is also 5 years compared to the 10-year lifespan of current models.
Currently, there are numerous products on the market for different types of IUDs, but the only copper-based IUD that is FDA approved in the US is the Paragard T380A. Most options include a polyethylene frame with copper wrapped around it like the T380 and the IUV ballerine. The IUV ballerine is composed of this polyethylene frame with 2 entwined circles that have balls of copper dispersed along the frame. Well, the T380 is a T-shaped IUD with 3 columns of copper wrapped around it. In total, the Paragard IUD has 380 square millimeters of copper, the IUV ballerine has 300 square millimeters of copper, while our design needs only 200 square millimeters of copper to achieve the same effectiveness. Our decreased copper elution can improve menstrual cramping and bleeding significantly, as well as allow for those who suffer from anemia or other bleeding conditions to use the IUD without fear of significant blood loss. The novel design of Gynafix is a frameless copper IUD that is designed to have improved expulsion rates, but studies have shown that this may not be the case. It also has a rather complicated and invasive implantation method, as it needs to be fixed to the myometrium of the uterine wall. While there are devices that attempt to address parts of these existing problems, no device yet exists that deals with inflammation due to copper release, uterine pain and perforation, and increased menstrual cramping and bleeding. Because of this, we see an opportunity to create an intrauterine device that can be used as an effective contraceptive while removing the existing pain and side effects that are associated with the products currently available.